champ is here.
We will definitely not shut up and dribble.
The champ is here. I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I took up the world.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man.
MH.
Yes, he is the DB of the show, man. And you know what time it is, man. It's the June. It's time for the live show. And we love having a live show because it brings the listeners in and getting their perspective, man. We love a good time, great topics. And today we already got started, man, just the pre-show. So, MH, man, let's start bringing them in so we can get going.
Blake Starr. Mr. Caleb. Protect the Shield Pod. I like your stuff, man. King Gene. What up?
All right, let's see.
Where you at, Caleb?
Yeah, where Caleb go, man? Caleb went to the dark on us. Caleb checking 1, 2. Caleb said, I'm gonna do 2 screens on you.
No, Caleb,
Can you kick one of those screens out from me?
We'll figure it out for it. We'll kick you out on this one.
Good EP, man. What's up, brother?
Oh, another day.
Kyrie coming back?
I hope so, man.
Okay.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna start off with that, huh?
Apparently, hey, you know what? If he comes back, it is what it is at this point. We got a center, so I'm hyped for that.
The kid from Duke?
Yeah, I think so. Slade, whatever that. I don't remember his name.
Caleb, what you got going on, bro?
We in Springfield.
Oh, all
So
right.
I'm not at the house.
I got you. I'm about to Kevin Samuels you.
So, I mean, we're already talking about the draft, man. So since we're on that, man, what are people's thoughts? I definitely have an opinion on just one part of it because it came up in the show. But what do we think? Initial thoughts? How'd your teams do? How'd you think about the draft overall? Or did you not even give a damn?
I got to 12. Nah, I was like, all right, cool. Mavs got a center. I'm out. All I wanted.
Well, I was talking to little cuz before the show. He's got to protect the Shields, got his podcast up. That's a shout out to that. But I was talking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I don't know much about this basketball." I was like, "Neither does anybody else."
Yeah, man.
Because basketball, I mean, especially with the way they do it now, man, these cats aren't in college or any other place long enough for us to kind of get to know them. And MH and I have talked about that plenty of times on the show. So, that kind of helps. That hurts, I should say, with the fanfare of kind of like what the NBA draft has become.
I agree. I think this draft, as I try to do some research so I can at least watch the draft and understand what's going on, who's doing what, from everything that all the, I guess, people that do it for a full time say is that it was a pretty deep draft. And it kept me around long enough because I wanted to see Imani Bates, see who he got drafted, knowing that he was going to be the back end of the first round. And into the second round, I know he went to Cleveland. So I think that's a good fit for him, and hopefully the young man can kind of get back on track. But the NBA draft to me is like one of those things where we'll see oh, this is number 1 player in the 2027 prospect class, and you don't really hear about him. He's like, oh, they did go to Kentucky. Like, what happened to him? Oh, dang, he was drafted 27. That might be a cool pick. We'll see if he can live up to his high school mixtape. So to me, that's like what the NBA draft has turned into a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like a guy like what's my guy's name from Gonzaga, Drew Timmy.
Oh yeah.
Who is? I mean, we know who he is. He's like the Christian Laettner of this era. He's winning. He's been around. He's good. He wasn't drafted. I mean, he's a senior. He was a senior. So like, I guess it's just two different ends of the spectrum that the NBA is battling, and I think that has an issue with, I guess, the casuals visual or casuals view on the draft.
I mean, and the other point to that too, MH, we talk about too, is just like the focus so much on growing the game, right? So globally, like we want to be, international, making sure that integrating, doing these other things to develop in other countries. And then now you look at it like it's become an NBA is an international game, right? Like our number one draft was from Paris, right? And then you talk about your MVPs, over the last 5 years, have not even been, of the US. So it's like, be careful what you wish for in a sense. And then now you have your base. Your basis is not really kind of connecting to, because like, I didn't get to watch him in high school, grow up and things of that nature. So
Right. Listen, I like what my team did. I mean, I'm a Rockets fan, so I like we got Cam on the back end in the second round. First round, I like the Thompson twin because I feel like he's one of those kids who love basketball, and you can tell from them, like when they do interviews, you can tell he really love the game. And there's not too many players that actually can talk about the game and talk about the X's and O's of the game and just all enthralled into basketball. There's a lot of these players, like they're just good athletes. That's it. They're not good basketball.
They talk about that too, where they say like it's not a real love of the game. They play it, they know this is how they make the money, but the love.
Yeah, you hear more and more like retired pros.
Especially with the U.S. players, like one of the biggest things I think is an issue with the United States is the rule changes that we did in the U.S. for the NBA hurt all the players coming up.
What do you say rule changes? What do you mean by that?
The rule change to make scoring easier. They basically changed the rules to help scoring, right?
Yeah.
Help scoring made it easier. While in Europe, they're still playing our 90s game.
Yeah, fundamentals and all that.
Fundamental straight basketball game. That's why these players coming over here doing so well. When it comes to basketball IQ, their basketball IQs are high.
Yeah.
Like, they play
and then less
game.
on like the hand checking and like the way you kind of guard, defend, and all of that stuff, right?
And they know how to score in different areas around the court. A lot of the new US kids is 3-pointers and dunking, like going to the basket. That's all. They don't have a mid-range game. They don't develop on the defensive end. Like, it's a lot of that going on right now. So that's why you see all these European players come over and they're ready because they're getting the full experience, basketball experience. So
for sure. And not to cut you off, Gene, I just think the European game in general is just a little older too. I mean, those new Timmys of the world go to play Europe and they'll play in Europe for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Versus here in the NBA, we're talking about the Thompson twins, and he's playing other young cats in G League Elite, or what is it? Overtime Elite, my bad. I didn't even put 6 leagues into one. So I just think our pool of players is a lot younger, which is why like a guy like LeBron, outside of him being, arguably the greatest of all time, but he can play for 28 years because, kids don't know how to really play the game, and he's just playing on a different level than them, and he can kind of still keep up physically.
Yeah,
but I can play for 30 years if they don't know what they're doing till year 6 in the league.
Right. Man, that's the first time I heard inmates say anything good about LeBron. First time ever.
Hey, Blake Star, he's coming around, Blake Star. We've been having Hey, watch out for a future episode about LeBron. He's coming around, man, Blake Star. Way to call that out.
One gripe I have with the draft, though, and not to change the subject too much, but I like doing that, EJ. Two things really that I don't like. Number one, if a player is traded, can we just give them the traded hat? Like, we always like, hey, this player is proposed to go to Atlanta and he got a Dallas Maverick hat on, but you don't know if he's really Dallas or they got drafted for Atlanta. Like, just make it clear to us, man. You confuse
the right hat.
On this.
I agree.
The right hat.
Let's just, for a top one, do that. And number two, put a shirt on. Like, there got to be a dress code. We got to reinstitute a dress code for the draft. Too many suits with chest meat out. Come on, man. Like, go put a shirt on. Let's reinstall a dress code for the draft.
Hold on, but you're like our fashion, so the no,
man,
gotta have a shirt, huh?
You 17 years old, haven't learned how to work out yet. Your chest is, you see your heart beating. Nah, go put some clothes on.
I'll say this about the draft. It's like, to me, college, going to play in the college, playing in the tournament is still the biggest marketing tool you can ever have. It's like, I get the G League. I get all that. I was like, I don't think it's going to ever be bigger than a player playing in the tournament, marketing-wise, for that player when he comes to the league. Like, you already have marketing dollars coming in.
Mm-hmm.
All these other young players, like, you don't know them because they've been playing. You barely see them on TV. You might see them on ESPN every once in a while, but they don't. It's not those college brands that they're attached to.
Right, and I'm not watching like the G League All-Star game, right? Like,
right.
The Indiana Ants when they come on. Like, I'm not Like
no interest.
And the thing is, like, I went to a couple of G League games here in Vegas. Our Ignite team is like a dope team, but it's like I went to the one when Wemby was in town, right? Like, because you knew that was like a marquee game. So, I mean, I agree with you definitely on that, Gene. All right,
do you
so what do we
think do the draft lottery and the draft on the same night? I saw some article they had.
I saw that. I would make it more exciting.
Yeah,
It would.
You're not gonna know that San Antonio's taking, Wembanyama for 2 weeks before the draft. So
Right.
I think that would be interesting.
That would be dope.
Right, yeah. Do a show an hour before the draft.
Yeah.
That would be
Like, and somebody made this use. Oh, they won't be able to scout. It's like, no, you still can scout players. Just scout everybody. It's gonna make your scouting department better.
Yeah, your strategy got to be a lot
Your
different.
strategy
Then.
gonna be better.
Yeah,
You can't just be making it through it. Slide.
yeah,
through.
you got to scout everybody.
But does that give you time to play the board? Like, I don't know how much the movements happen, right, with the NBA lottery, but like, when you talk about NFL, like you have to, you have best available on your board, and then like, what feels and what you need, because you can't just do the Kevin Costner, like, hey, what else we need? Tell them we need a kicker.
EJ, you bring up a huge point though that I think is missing with the NBA. So free agency starts Friday, right?
Yeah.
And so for the NFL, free agency is essentially kind of done before they get into the draft. And so now it's like the pieces are filling in what you haven't really done in free agency versus the NBA. You got these prospects that you brought in. 5 of them may be like, all right, they guys, the other 20 of them like, oh, we can ship him. He got the Nuggets hat. We'll ship him somewhere else because we know we got this guy coming in free agency. So maybe even a switch of those in order, I think may help too with the NBA draft.
So outside the NBA draft, I know, Gene, you said you're a Houston Rockets fan. You definitely were happy with how your draft went. So James Harden coming back. I mean, he's in the news, man. That's what everybody's talking about. Is he going back?
I don't want him to come back.
It'd be stupid for y'all to bring him
To
back.
me, like my thing for Harden is like, if Harden coming back to Houston, it lets me know where he's at the point in his career where he's not trying to win no more. Like he has other business interests in play if he comes back to Houston, because he does have a lot of businesses in Houston.
I was about to say, hey, his brunch spot is smacking.
No, but he's part owner of the Dynamo. He owns a couple of restaurants and things like that. And I know his mom still lives in Houston, so I get that part. Like, but like you still have enough time in your career to do that.
But it's not the same comparison. But LeBron went back to Cleveland.
Yeah, but LeBron, like that team, look who they put around him when he came back. Like you had Kyrie there, you went and got Kevin Love. Like Houston is not at that. Houston not right there. Like let Houston continue to do.
And James Harden's from California, so he would have to go to like Clippers or Lakers for him to be making a home statement. He's not from Houston. He'll just be trying to go get some stats in Houston.
Yeah, I'm just for to me, it's just like Harden, like he should go back. He should like go back to Philly. Or go somewhere where he can try to win a ring, and then like do a short term deal, then go back to Houston towards the end. Like when you know it's the end and that team is growing, and they're like a playoff team, but they're a veteran away from building. So
I don't even think he's that type of guy, though. He's not that type of guy to have a reunion tour. Like he's just James Harden, just another star in the NBA.
Look at the party.
Just the Gilbert Arenas. Just the Gilbert Arenas.
Man, look at the party, man.
They're not gonna honor a reunion tour for Harden. That's like Paul Pierce. Nobody's gonna tune in for that reunion.
Nobody checking for that.
I would say this from personal knowledge that like he has a lot of fans in the organization. Like inside the organization, like if he wanted to come back, he said he wanted to come back, he's coming back.
Well, starting with the owner who loves him, like that's where
the owner loves him, the GM loves him. Like if he wants to come back, he's coming back at any time when he wants to come back.
But like you said, it wouldn't be a basketball decision if he did go to Houston.
Right. To me, it wouldn't be a basketball decision.
And can I disagree on that?
And Gene, it goes back to your thing, right? Like a lot of these dudes don't really like basketball like that. They're doing it for a whole.
Don't. They like what it provides them.
Can I disagree on that?
What you got, MH?
I think it is a basketball move for James Harden to go back to Houston. And here's why I say that. I think they probably have the most money in free agency. So it's not like they can't pay him and get somebody else. They do that.
I don't know if they can do both.
Oh, well, hold on. Like Whatever you feel of Jalen Green, right? He's a guy that's on and coming. Same with Kevin Porter. Same with Segun or whatever the center's name is, where they say he's kind of like the next Jokic. That power forward, what's his name? Martin? Was that his last name?
Kenyon Martin's son.
Yep.
No. The guy they drafted last year from Auburn. I can't think of his name right now. The power forward.
Jabari Smith.
Jabari Smith, thank you.
Okay.
You can see what they got talent there that they're developing. Now, whether you think they're good or not, honestly, if you say James Harden, you kind of like the elder statesman. I don't know if that's what he needs to do. That's not the one, but they got enough stuff around where you can bring in James Harden, Fred VanVleet, and then say Jalen Green take a next step. And now that team is a playoff team.
For me,
but what's the point of being a playoff team if he's looking for a ring?
Right? Yeah,
he's not gonna get. He's not gonna get one in Philly. I
don't think James Harden's gonna get one regardless. But
yeah, to me, you stunt the Rockets player growth bringing Harden back right now.
And the guard they just drafted, he don't need no stunting. He's really like that. He's a young boy. He's a young boy and he can go. So he don't need James Harden to come stunting his growth because he's the future. Sir Thompson. Yeah,
but this is what
he's like that.
But to Eric's point, LeBron James came to the Cavaliers in the same kind of. The Cavaliers was almost in the same. That's
LeBron James.
LeBron James. Hold on. Can I finish? Let me finish.
Okay, Kanye.
Let me finish. Listen,
you had to stop.
Hold on. Let me finish. The Cavaliers were Tristan Thompson, who shot with both hands. He don't know what hand he shot with, and Kyrie Irving, who was nice, but we were like, oh, Kyrie Irving is just kind of nice, right?
Right.
Then they got Kevin Love. They made a trade for Kevin Love. Obviously, LeBron is there. They have a piece. They get Mozgov from somebody, whatever. That team wasn't put together. LeBron came and said, I like Kyrie. I can bring this. And now all of a sudden, they were in the NBA championship. I'm not saying James Harden is LeBron James, but to Eric's point, what I'm saying is the Houston Rockets have a new coach, Udoka, who's going to, he elevated Celtics to the finals.
But you're going to
have got talent everywhere. You can package up Thompson, package up the kid Smith Jr., package them all up, get you a real guy. And now you got a big three in Houston.
But
I do it on 2K all the time. What the hell?
but to add these pieces, you're going to have to give up some pieces.
Yeah, you got a lot of young pieces to do it, though. And you got all those draft picks.
For me, it makes no sense at this point to do that. Like, don't gut it for a team that's not going to win the championship regardless.
Don't gut it for James Harden.
Bring it Harden.
He's not even at that level of play no more. Like
I would not bet it for James Harden.
When he was contending for playoffs, he wasn't doing it with a great supporting cast. PJ Tucker was the second best player. Like PJ Tucker and Russell, agent Russell Westbrook. The Russell Westbrook they traded Capella, so this man could just shoot mid-range jump shots the whole game. So James Harden ain't been his best with best players around him, which is why he's cheeks with Embiid and Isaiah Harris and all that team they got around him. That's not what he does. He doesn't need a team. He needs to be by himself with supporting cast, but that's not a rookie cast because those guys are not even developed NBA players yet. So his best decision is just to finish it out, retire in Philly, and just go chill with little baby.
Not cheeks, though. Not cheeks.
Go kick it with little baby, and that's what he needs to do because the basketball stuff.
I can't deal with the James Harden slander.
That's why he go.
I don't know. I just don't feel like James Harden really cares about basketball.
He don't. He care about the nightlife. Houston got way better nightlife, and if he went back to Houston, that's not.
Yeah, that man gonna live at that strip club.
I was like, think how much money James Harden has made, man. Like shoe deal was over $200 million on his own. Like he don't even have to live off his player salary. He can just live off that.
That's fine. Sometimes we talk about I think mental health is in our subject. We'll get to it. But hey, maybe that's the way he needs to just, I need to decompress. I need to go to this. I like playing video games. James Harden likes throwing money around. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just however you need to get away from your stress relief. That's what you do. But the proof is in the pudding. James Harden is the MVP. He's led the league in scoring. He's
he
led the
was
league in
the MVP.
assists. He's a Sixth Man of the Year. This man is an all-time great. Let's just be
Man,
real.
he
If you talk about
was.
point guards in the NBA history, there's Jordan.
I'll say he's
There's
an all-time
Jordan.
great.
There's Kobe Bryant. And give me another two guard that's better than James Harden.
Allen Iverson.
Stop.
Stop.
What are you talking about?
Let's have this debate right now.
Allen Iverson is way better than James Harden, bro.
In what way? What does Allen Iverson did? What's his career stats?
James Harden's been to a finals
too, though. James Harden's been to a finals.
Yeah,
Won just like Allen Iverson
as a bus rider.
Yeah,
as a
bus rider. He was a Sixth Man of the Year that year.
Yeah, but he had KD, and Russ. No, and he didn't even show up in the finals.
Allen Iverson got. Hold on. Just wait a minute. Allen Iverson had the Defensive Player of the Year on his team. Then what?
Okay.
And they won one game in the finals.
They played Shaq.
What would James Harden do?
They played Shaq. Did you see what they did? You see Shaquille O'Neal do?
Did the Thunder not play LeBron James and Dwayne Wade in their prime? Come on, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. That's what the Thunder
and they
played.
got 2.
What are we talking about?
And Dallas beat them. So what?
What I'm saying is,
they're not in the same conversation.
Nah, they're not.
They're not in the same conversation. That's it. They're in two different stratospheres.
Any metric y'all want to pull up about Allen Iverson, pull up James Harden's metric next to it, and let's see who's better then.
Aaron McKee was the second best player on that Sixers team. Aaron McKee.
Yeah, I was like,
Aaron McKee was the second best player on the NBA Finals team.
Carried that 0-1 team to that
Harden's
final.
stats didn't turn into wins in the playoffs.
Right.
Like he got worse once everything went to a
Who did
half
he lose to? He lost to the KD Warriors. Like, what are y'all talking about? what are we talking about? He went 7 games.
Kevin Durant didn't even play. He was hurt. And they still
went 7 games with that Thunder team.
I'm talking about the year that Kevin Durant was healthy. They lost Chris Paul in game 5 or 6. They were up 3-2. What did
Harden do in those games?
And he went 0-17 at home.
Yeah, thank you.
People were even saying, oh, if we had CP3 or if they had CP3, they would have finished. They didn't say nothing about Harden. He was there. If CP3 was healthy, we would have won a championship.
James Harden played 17 in game 7.
Say it again.
17 in game 7, you said?
Yes, that's why I'm a Rockets fan. Look,
this man Harden is
Does it matter if he went for 17 losses? Does that really matter? Honestly, let me ask that question.
Well, yeah, it does matter because that's his narrative. Because he choked in the playoffs. Like his narrative is preseason triple doubles, and then he peters out when it comes.
I'm not going to allow this to happen. When we just said PJ Tucker was his guy that he was playing with. We just said PJ Tucker.
But that has nothing to do with his performance during the playoffs.
Aaron McKee was playing with Iverson.
PJ Tucker better than Aaron McKee.
Come on now. Don't disrespect Iverson. Don't disrespect Iverson. Don't do that now. We can say James Harden is great. We can say James Harden is great without disrespecting Iverson. They in two different stratospheres.
We love Iverson, or we just
Iverson got his own shrine in the Hall of Fame. James Harden don't got one of them yet.
Huh?
Iverson got his own section in Springfield. Harden don't got one yet. He ain't gonna have one. He ain't gonna have one.
He's an active player.
Harden is Gilbert Arenas at best. Statistical monster.
Never MVP.
Statistical monster. Yeah, because he had his personal reasons, but
I'll give him better than that guy.
James Harden was the MVP, right?
And Harden had more than just freaking PJ Tucker. He had Lemon Pepper Lou was there. Like,
I'm talking about Trevor Ariza. He had Chris Paul.
Kobe won with him. Kobe won with Ariza.
He had whatever that house dude's name is that got in trouble at the bubble. Like, that's who he had.
He had Eric Gordon. Like he had people around him. It's just when you want to go club before the game, it don't turn into win.
The game. What are we talking about? Like Michael Jordan did the same thing.
But that was Michael Jordan.
That was Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan never disappeared in the playoff game, and AI never disappeared in the playoff game.
Didn't Allen Iverson party before games too?
Michael Jordan would
Did he ever disappear?
But then he won.
James Harden go club and only give you 15. That's just two different worlds.
That's
I want you guys to pull up something about the worst officiating game ever and look at Game 7 to Golden State. I just want y'all to just do a little research. Look at Game 7, Warriors and Rockets, the year that KD was there and they won a championship. Look at the free throw disparity. Look at all that. I just want you guys.
That has nothing to do with going.
We're about educating here on this platform. So I just want y'all to make
that has nothing to do with Houston
conspiracy theory as well.
That has nothing to do with Houston missing all day threes up to the fourth quarter, bro. Like, come on now.
Just go watch. Just look at some game film. YouTube is great. It's a great resource for that.
Okay. If we can talk about refs, there's a whole documentary on a ref that said that they're targeting Allen Iverson.
Oh right. Yeah.
All of them. What was that on? That was on the new one.
That was on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they changed the rule, right?
They changed the rule for him.
They made a rule
for
for
dress
him.
code rule.
Yeah.
Man. Come on, that's not a rule.
That's two rules.
Nothing to do with the game.
They had a rule. They had a common rule. They
nowhere do rag on the sideline.
Crossover out the league.
They said no do rags on the sideline. That's not changing nothing. Come on, now. You gotta stop with that.
Once AI crossed over Jordan, they're like, we can't let this happen. We got
we got that out ASAP.
Like we got to stop that right now.
I know we love Allen Iverson, but he wasn't gonna win no championship.
Hey,
Whenever y'all,
I know you love James Harden, but he's not gonna win no championship, bro.
No, he's not.
He barely win a playoff game.
Right, bro. He barely show up for the playoff game.
Right.
Outside of 2001 that everybody goes to, we don't have to do it now. EJ, let's change the subject. But outside of 2001, outside of that year, let me know what Allen Iverson did in the playoffs, and I'll be quiet.
Bro, he has the highest average for game 7.
Outside 2001. Let me know what he did outside of 2001.
Points per game in game 7.
So
he's either number 1 or number 2.
So we're gonna give some people some time to research and come back on that because that's a shocking ass topic. Because just off of the words alone, that just don't even sound right, man. And you're better than that.
Right, Miles, I'm so disappointed in you.
I know we gotta love Allen Iverson.
Disappointed in you, man.
I know we have to love Allen Iverson. He's us. He's the culture. We love him for all the reasons. But outside of if you look at the actual game, it's not much different. James Harden, and I would say James Harden.
What has James Harden done, bro?
What do you mean? What has he done?
What has he done?
Look, they do.
He's a great regular season player.
All right, y'all. Yeah. We're gonna table that.
He is a great regular season player. I'll give him that.
So everybody that's on here, hopefully y'all can make it back next month. we need to have that up because he's got some facts already that no one could really refute right now. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna see what we have. And just really quick, so we can wrap up that kind of NBA topic really quick. Any thoughts on Denver? Are they running it back? Do you see anybody knocking them off? Do you think they got the repeat coming? What we think? Hey. Round and robin. Anybody first off? I see you repping.
Hey, I'm in Denver right now, holding it down. I was at the game.
Okay, there you go.
At the game. We going back to back.
Okay, so we got a couple back to back. MH, Blake Star.
Yeah, Jokic is cold. So
it's gonna come down to health, just like the. You think about it, they probably should have won the one before the Warriors. I mean, Jamal Murray getting hurt caused a big hole in that offense. And
we all saw that, right? They were calling them the 1 and 2, right? Like the way they was falling out this year. So that's a good point, Hell.
So if they can stay healthy, I can see them maybe doing that, maybe coming back.
Yeah, it's all about health.
If someone was to knock them off, last question, we'll move on. Who do we think would knock them off? Do we think the Greek Freak in them? You think the Greek Freak?
You can't discount that. I mean, the Knicks we still coming.
Oh God!
Then, hey, check the facts. The Knicks the only team that beat them twice. Now we all about facts here. The Knicks beat them twice.
These regular season facts.
Wait. Who Miami or Denver?
In all honesty, I really like the move that Boston did with Porzingis. I don't think Boston has that grit to them that can necessarily beat Denver. But I did like that move that Boston made.
I did too. I like that.
I wasn't feeling that move. I thought KP was like the same as Al Horford.
Oh no,
younger and better though. Younger.
Nah, I think he's the same as Al Horford. But he's still better than KP. What has KP done since he's been with Washington?
Nah, I went to high school with Al Horford, man.
KP hasn't done anything since.
But they still got Al Horford though. So right, you can just rotate them together.
I don't like the move. And I'm not even a big fan of Marcus Smart, but I feel like he was like their backbone of that team.
I love the move because before that they had their best superstars and they couldn't play with them. So you had two wing players. You couldn't run no pick and roll. You can't run pick and roll Al Hufford. I'm sorry, you just can't do that. So now you can get their bust. You can now get their two best players in 2-man game with a actual guy that can play on all 3 levels, and he's actual center too. Yeah. I love it. It's absolute great move. You get that Marcus Smart trash off the ball because he's not a point guard. Get that trash off here. Get that out of there. Get somebody else on there. Matter of fact, what's funny is I saw 4 times in the playoffs where Marcus Smart took the final shot. Get that out of there.
I do agree with that, Caleb. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of Marcus Smart. Like I
can't have that running no teams.
I'm indifferent whether I'm a big fan, but yeah, I really don't need him taking the last shot though.
I agree 100%.
I do not need him taking the last shot.
I feel like Marcus Smart pretty much lost in the finals last year.
All right, man. Hey, real quick change up. Y'all see it. Y'all know it, man. We got to give, since we were talking about the champs, Denver, we got to give a shout out to our Las Vegas Golden Knights. You know, I'm representing, man. They went, go ahead and bring home the title. So, you know, Vegas is just knocking out titles this year. So let's keep it going. Anybody here watch hockey other than us Vegas fans here, y'all? Anybody else up here watching hockey?
I watched it last year when the Avalanche won.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Hey, Colorado representing all the way around.
I watched it last year when the Avalanche won.
I was eliminated.
Yeah, I was done as well.
Oh, that's what's up.
But it's funny that you said about the Las Vegas because the Aces, what they out there doing right now on the AAU program, them boys out there, them girls out there cheating right now. They got an AAU program out there right now. They got an AAU program.
Don't do us like that. So let's bring it in. We have the Aces. You know, we had WNBA, right? So the WNBA season started. We actually did a show talking about like super teams and just where that's going. I think maybe we even talked about a little bit on last month's live. But hey, you know, the Aces won, and we think we up for a repeat. But there is like a big game coming up this Thursday. So it's us versus the Liberty, which is another one of the quote unquote super teams. So it's going to be to see what our matchups look like, man. So any of you guys watching the game? Who said nobody cares? Okay, Andrew Blackman back with us, man. I always like to have Andrew on here. He's definitely someone to keep Gene in check, man, when he goes into his Dion. But so yeah, what do we think about the WNBA game? I know Blake Starr, man, you're a heavy proponent of the game, man. So who do you got? What's your early runners? Talk to us,
man. Just the Aces, man. I watched them the other night, man. They just look, they just running away, and I know how that go again. Just come down to health. Everybody stay healthy on that team. 2 stacked, man. I understand what's going on in New York, and even Brittany Griner coming back. They, you know, all that type of stuff, but. They rolling, man. Them girls was rolling. I like to see it. I ain't mad at it, man. They rolling.
The AAU comment was a little much. That shit's hilarious.
I like that. That was funny though. I can understand.
It's true though. Jackie Young is their Jackie Young is their 4th best player on that team. That's ridiculous. Like she's a starting star on any other team. That's an AAU program. That's really ridiculous. Like even the way Kelsey Plum plays, like she can just catch it and like let it go. Like there's no nothing. I'm gonna catch it and score with no repercussions. Like and then they got the AAU coach. Like they team is safe. The team is lit, man. That's a really good team.
The biggest sponsorship, just everything. Right?
That's a good team right there.
And then if you saw, so they also announced because the All-Star break is coming for them at the same time NBA Summer League's happening here in Vegas, and we got like 3 or 4 ladies on the that's represent their All-Stars out of other teams. Maybe have one, so you know, definitely killing the 4 All-Stars. And Jackie Young, I think, was one. Jackie,
Chelsea, and
Hoop God, Asia, and who else?
No, I think that's it. It's just those 3.
Just those 3. But yeah, killing it. And Gray is ridiculous, man. Like y'all have no idea, like watching these games live, how she be making these folks look. The shit's amazing. And sometimes it be so damn good, like our own team be dropping the bags on them fucking dimes because they so goddamn cold, man. All right, let's see. What else? Anything else for the women?
That pass she made to Asia, I think.
Oh, last week or a couple days ago?
Yes, that was the other day, and that was crazy.
I've never seen that.
Not in the girls' games. You hardly see that in the boys' games.
I've never seen that.
Hey, EJ, since we're on the topic of women's basketball, how do you feel? And I'm big on WNBA and women's basketball in general. But how do you feel about Caitlin Clark being the needle mover. She's going to be the next Steph Curry. Like the game's going to be played at a different pace, a different level once she hits the WNBA. She has another year of college left also.
So it's this. I believe that's going to be a narrative, right? So they're going to push them, and they have to start. They have to start pushing the players somewhat because the one of the things. There's so many things that we've talked about, right? As far as the narrative, some of them staying too long and then not having any like fresh players. So her coming in, that little rival. Her and Angel Reese is going to be something because like Angel Reese made the U.S. team, the Olympic team that she's going to be. I don't know if it's the under or whatever, but I just kind of saw a post that she makes it. But it's something that they're going to have to. And I think it goes back to the original thing that MH always kind of first brought to me, and that a couple of us have said on the show is them playing in the tournaments is why we know who they are, right? Like we watched. Hell, they had the highest viewership this last year. They crushed the men's tournament, so it's definitely something I think they're going to push heavy on, and they need to because she's out there balling. Like, let's, however else you want to talk about it, she's out there balling. She's out there killing it.
The needle mover retired. I'll never forget that, man. And I know she had other. I always know she had other ventures, so I'm not going to get into it. But I would never forget that.
Who you talk about?
I'll never forget that dude. She retired. That was a needle mover. But I'll leave it at that.
Who you talking about?
Maya Moore. I'll never forget.
Maya Moore was cold. She was nasty.
Hey,
cold.
Another good team though.
She was cold.
Man, that was a problem. That was.
She was cold.
I'll never forget.
Her and Diana Taurasi were cold.
But if there's anything close to moving that needle though, it's going to be Caitlin Clark. She's on a whole different stratosphere of basketball.
Right. Maya Moore must have dunked on inmates somewhere.
I saw Maya Moore in the airport one day, and I said, "Yes, ma'am."
For no reason.
I'm talking Maya Moore yoked, mid-range game like Melo, cold. Like, yeah, I'll never forget my guy. Congratulations,
my guy. Man. Stop that. Anyway, we're gonna go on next because this is going left. Really quick, another pre-show thing we were talking about. Ben Simmons got his back done, man. So we got one person who's a believer that he's going to be comeback player of the year this year, a most improved player. And if you don't watch the show enough, you should know who that person is. But I'm gonna let him take it from here.
Most improved, man. You can't do anything without your back feeling well. He got his back going, his back healthy. We're gonna see Ben Simmons again.
He finally
I feel like you can still make a layup with a bad back, man. Like
you can shoot a layup with a bad back.
You can at least attempt.
Yeah.
Everybody that's saying that, I know y'all haven't had a bad back before.
I got a terrible back. I got a terrible back.
You're not laughing at anything. You're not going anywhere.
I just left the chiropractor yesterday.
Nah, I think him and James Harden is similar boat, man. They practiced in the tub, man. They washed up, man. It's over with. Over.
So one other thing on the NBA topic, man, and like we always tend to keep it positive here as much as possible. But we had another King Gene quote, man. I saw this on his social, man. This wasn't on the live, but when they're talking about Ja, man, and his punishment, right? Like, oh, they're not going to talk about his punishment until after the NBA season. Like, hold on, why are you drawing all this hype? And Gene goes, man, Adam Silver's dropping his punishment like a mixtape in the 90s. So what do we think of the punishment? Is it just much to do about nothing? Do we care? Is it just kind of like a thing where they're like trying to, keep him as a next star or brand for the league because we don't have many of them once LeBron leaves? What are our thoughts, fellas?
It was less games than I thought it was going to be. To be completely
you thought it was be more than 25? You thought it was going to be
half. At least, 40. Yeah, 40, 50.
I was thinking 40.
And I'm gonna keep it. I think that it's necessary, to be completely honest, for him to get busted and to go through all that in the first place, and then to turn around and be like, "Oh, I'm good. I got the help." Blah 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 blah. To do it again, it's stupid. It's
so quickly too.
Yeah,
I don't know. But what did he get? I mean, he didn't break a law. He didn't break a law.
He lied to that commissioner's face. That's what that man did. Suspended that man too.
Hey, talking to Massa and breaking the law.
There's still a code of conduct that you got to have while you're in the league. Like,
doing stuff detrimental to the team.
But did we say that was a burner? That wasn't like it was the VIN number was scratched off on the. I mean, let's get real. Did he break any laws? Right? Like, is it like
he broke the NBA law.
He broke
Right.
Like,
Right. That's really what it come down to.
He broke all type of like codes, like number one rule is don't show guns on social media. I think that's for anybody. NBA, if you work at rallies, don't show a burn on social media.
Well, it depends on if you work on which rallies you work on.
There's a couple rallies. Yeah.
You may want to let them know you back.
Okay, facts. All right, if you work at the rallies in Memphis, then maybe yes, but just saying like that part I can agree with as far as being a role model to the kids and all that type of deal. But on the real, he didn't break a law, and I don't really know where I stand with that. But I do agree with just being silly, just being dumb, or I know that there's certain things I can't do at my job, and if I clock in earlier than I'm supposed to, or if I lied about something, or whatever the case may be, you can't do certain things and expect to get a check. So,
right.
I think that's it. Like if
I go on social with a gun singing "Young Boy," I'm getting fired tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right. And I think even when it comes to like the law part, like I'd have been cool with that the first go round, but this dude did it again a couple months later. Like, how does that happen? Like you got to get some type of punishment after that, like for the exact same thing that you just did.
That boy needs to get an NRA sponsorship. That's what he needs.
Bang. Sponsorship. Thank you, EJ. Because here's my thing. One, there's two questions I have about the whole Ja thing. One, if this happens in a different league, the NFL, what's Ja's suspension in the NFL? What's his suspension? I don't know, but we can debate that. If Ja's an NFL player, what's his suspension look like? Number two, Ja wears Nike, right? The league has Nike on every jersey, correct? I mean, they got to kind of do something because they can build the redemption story. Hey, man, you can come back. Here's a Ja 2's redemption. That's the name of the Ja 2's already, if that's what they're looking for. But what I'm saying is, I think it matters who he wears on his feet. They're not going to just try to get, and he is the American-born like guy, right? So they're not going to quickly tear him down. I don't think so. 25 games, I think they had to do it that way. Ja's going to chill out and do what he got to do, and then he'll be back, and they can build a redemption story off of that. That's my opinion.
I hope. I hate to see.
Why couldn't they build it? Just a quick question of a Nike thing, because I've been feeling this way for the longest. Why couldn't they build a redemption story with Kyrie Irving? Why couldn't they do that? He didn't flash no gun.
Kyrie Irving is 30. And Kyrie Irving's on the end of his Nike. No, seriously. Kyrie Irving's on the end. Kyrie Irving's on the end of his Nike tour. You haven't seen. When's the last time you seen Uncle Drew?
Damn.
The movie?
Right. He's turning into Uncle Drew.
His narrative has stopped, right? Like his narrative is stopped now. So if
once
he's at
the
the
earth
end
was
of his
flat,
Nike deal,
he had nowhere else to go with it, right?
Like, he's at the end of his Nike deal. That's just the reason for them to be like, cool. Like we're not gonna have you back, bro. Because you at the end of the deal, Ja got a lot of future with Nike. He got a big future with them. So they're gonna try to keep him. His leash is a little longer than Kyrie.
I'm not a big fan of them trying to make him like the face of the NBA. I don't know what he's earned to do that, but to even be the face. But I guess you gotta have an American in there somewhere. But I don't know what it is. I agree
with you, but kids like him, black, white, Asian, Mexican kids, they all like him. His style of game. Right, and he gritties. I mean,
gritty. No, hey, not gritty. He gritties. There's a big difference. Let's clarify. There's a big difference in being gritty.
Gritty. You good, bro?
Yeah, and he loved Young Boy, so it all works out.
So
he
that's
like everything the kids like.
Does anybody know why Young Boy is so big with the NBA crowd and these young crowds? So I have my youngin that was here. He's working in basketball house, whatever. And we talked like, why is it Young Boy all over the who listens to it? Let's start with there. Who listens to Young Boy?
I mean,
I listen to
a grown ass man, dog.
I don't listen to no youngs.
I don't do no young.
You said no youngs, no littles, no babies.
None.
No littles. You're getting a little crazy with the no littles, though. We'll wait.
I mean, that's about it. Him and Lil Fame. I mean, I'm just being general. More than likely, Little and youngs, I ain't really messed with them. I don't know what the obsession is, but I mean, as a big hip hop griot or a rap griot, I can't.
This is
I don't
irritating,
understand
man.
that. I just can't. I don't understand it. So it ain't whatever it is. It was like that with our parents too. They're like, oh, they ain't understand Run DMC or whatever y'all. Whatever. I'm sorry, I'm probably way older than y'all. Whoever the young guys y'all's listening to, that your parents didn't understand it. We don't understand it, but it's what it is. It's there. I mean, it's just I don't know why they so attracted or attached to that. And they bring that into the cars and into the games and the talk and I think it's all social media and everything involved and just everything's just going that way. I don't get it, but whatever.
My sentiments exactly. There you go.
Hey, all I know is that Jackie EJ is fly, man. That's all I know, man. That is. I want to say something about that show. That is
hard.
Again,
Go Knights, go. Let's go. All right, so let's take it over to a different sport, man. We don't touch on it, and it's one of those sports that kind of, we did grow up with because we had a heavyweight. And I think I always say when MH and I have these conversations is like boxing is really never going to be anywhere till they get a true heavyweight that can stay around, right? Like that makes boxing, even though there's a lot of young talent. I don't ever want to disparage all the young talent, but we go to watch boxing for the knockouts, I believe. So, but there is a really big fight coming up. And I think a lot of people are excited about that big fight, So, what do people think? Who do you got? What? And that's happening here in Vegas, of course, the fight capital. But what are people's thoughts?
Real quick, who's fighting?
Whoa.
Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford.
Okay. I know who they are. I watch a little bit of boxing, but I don't watch.
Which is that, and that's kind of, I guess, that goes kind of the points. But anybody, what are your thoughts?
I'm rolling with Bud.
Yeah, I'm going with Bud too.
And why is that?
Yeah, I think Bud has kind of got that Mayweather in him. He's just a great technical defensive fighter.
Right.
And he makes great adjustments in ring.
Right. He's a great counterpuncher, and he can hit with both hands.
Mm-hmm.
So he can switch up in the middle of the fight you orthodontics, or he can switch up and fight you southpaw.
Yeah.
He
is ring IQ.
He's just a technician.
Yeah.
Ring.
And that's where you said that technician is kind of like back when it's like the Floyd kind of side of things.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that's great about this fight is they didn't wait too long, right? Because we all wanted to see the Pacquiao Floyd, and that just happened way after its prime. So this should be another the Garcia fight. When Tim and Tank fought, people wanted to see that. So hopefully this matchup at this timing kind of continues to bring that spirit to boxing. But you still do have Floyd boxing.
Man.
You already know what I'm talking about, right?
Man, you won't call it that.
That exhibition or whatever you want to call it that he had. Should he give it up, man? What are our thoughts?
Let it go, Floyd.
Heck nah, man. Hey.
You say make the bag, huh, Blake Star?
Man, get that
bag.
I don't care who he fight. Get it.
If people still paying you for it, make the bag.
That's what it works for. I think he works for like true boxing fans, even Floyd. Like, man, casual fans, like he's not knocking anybody out. All these other fighters aren't like making big blows. So the casual fans are like, man, I don't follow the shit like I watch like Tyson. I ain't gonna front, bro. I don't watch that much boxing. You got to tell me who to watch, who, and then after
there's some good young boxers out right now.
I'm not following, but I'll watch Mike Tyson do an exhibition fight before I watch Mayweather do an exhibition fight.
What was Floyd's last one? Didn't he have one in Dubai before this most recent one? And I heard that did
happen.
Huh?
Did it ever happen?
I think it. That's what I'm saying. I think it did, and I don't think it did numbers at all.
Who'd he fight?
I don't even. It was some dude. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Nobody cared.
I mean, well, I'm not paying money to see like these little exhibitions.
He doesn't care about because the fight in Dubai, some Saudi prince paid him to fight.
Right.
Two people watching.
Right.
He got paid by a Saudi prince.
The way they do in Saudi, the way they got money out there is ridiculous, man. They're trying to take over like every sport right now.
which they're doing in golf. And you know,
They
there's not
did.
much. I don't know how
Yeah.
many Tiger Woods here we got here, but like the live golf and the PGA thing. Only thing I'm gonna say about that, and I definitely open the floor, was all them PGA dudes that was like, fuck it, like you know,
So
Loyal.
hey, they all salty, man. Because if I would turn down that money and then you're gonna join with them after I had your back,
salty as hell. Yeah,
Nah.
$200 million contract.
Yeah,
For you to say, oh hey, by the way,
that was some foul shit.
I don't know if you know this, but we're combining.
That was a move that they do that you see done to a lot of us.
I was just about to say that.
They act like
Facts.
again, and I'm like, yep, that's good shit. Yeah,
Cool.
but
All
I'm
it is.
following that idiot shit. And bro, I ain't gonna front. Like Tiger, bro, no other golfer is like you, so you don't get to judge other motherfuckers trying to go make their money. Go make my loot, bro. Motherfuckers living their whole life making $100,000, and they get a deal from Live. Go make $1 million, go make $2 million, go make $5 million. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
What are we
Right.
talking about? Bro, tripping. They
Make
ass,
no, it was a messed up move.
and Roy McIlroy, bro, his ass is like trying to act like he the voice of man, bro. Don't get me started.
I mean, the commissioner.
Well, your wins don't match up for the clout you getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he be getting this hard and on. He folds up under pressure.
I would say his wins, Iverson. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Dang.
There we go, back
Okay.
and forth. All right, so in the media,
Still
you know,
more than
MH and I follow kind of like the media stuff, and plus we all know Uncle Sha-Sha is of the culture, man, and he had a little quick abrupt move leaving his talk show. How do we feel about that, man? And do you think it was coming like after him and Skip kind of had that like little, not one, but they had a couple altercations?
That man left undisputed.
He didn't even know.
Breaking news.
Yeah, that man been gone since the
Yeah.
finals.
Yeah,
since
since
the
the
finals
finals.
ended.
Yeah.
I started watching Undisputed a minute ago, but that's crazy. Ever since Skip said that thing about he not compared to Tom Brady's career,
Oh yeah, he was
that
done
Shannon
with it.
Sharp was out after that.
He was like, it was a
Sharp
wrap,
done
huh?
after that, then the
Yeah, I
DeMar
don't know who you
Hamlin
talking to.
deal, like
I think their last big altercation that had was the final nail in the coffin.
So what I heard, what really happened is a certain news company lost a lot of millions of dollars from Tucker Carlson, so they had to start cutting back. And so
really,
they already had Skip locked in. Sharp contract wasn't that long, so it was just easy to just cut him off, and then they're gonna bring in somebody for a cheaper rate to be the other co-host.
I thought he left on his own though.
Talk to him,
I
Gene.
mean,
Talk
They
to
bought
It
him out.
might have been worked into
Talk to him, Gene.
They bought him out.
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
MH, we need to get a Gene exclusive.
No,
We gotta get it dropped.
Gene,
So the Fox- the
Gene
Fox
dropped
News-
that gym so quick. He was
Fox
chewing.
News
He was eating.
Hey,
That boy-
speaking of that- no, player. Let me tell you what went down.
Yeah, it really happened.
So yeah, the Fox News they lost so much money because that Tucker Carlson got sued. That's why they had to cut Tucker Carlson away.
yeah, now that would
So,
make sense though.
They've been cutting ever since. They've been just chopping.
Yeah,
Chopping
that
more
would
and
make sense.
It's like
So,
700
Whoa,
million,
man! Don't be messing with Gene, boy.
You got this.
Like a big
I
loss.
thought the
Man.
same- I thought the same
Man,
thing. So I was like, let me
Man,
talk to some
Woj
people.
over there.
What's going on?
Let me go ahead and hit this
That
roll.
man woes.
But bro, it ain't no big loss to like media coverage with that dude being gone, right? We think like
It's a big loss.
He said he doesn't.
nah,
Oh, no.
nah, ain't no loss. Like
I'm not saying like he's a Pulitzer Prize like top like person,
I mean, but I
but
think
anybody that's for the culture like is you know.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's sometimes
I fuck with Shannon.
he questionable about the code. He called himself Unk, but he does a lot of non-Unk things.
I don't know,
Outside
but
of the culture.
from EJ's point of view, or from EJ's point, like the other person that we kind of represent the culture, Stephen A. Smith, and no one really messes with him. So
Yeah,
Shannon Sharp is your choice. Like,
yeah. I was fucking with Max more than I was fucking with Steve.
yeah, I say yeah.
The only person I know really for the culture is Bomani. Everybody else,
Bomani.
Yeah,
Like, I don't mess with Jay Will. I don't mess with Jay Will like that because he's borderline. He's always on the edge. Like he's one day he's this way, and then next morning on KGZ he's something else.
Yeah.
Like, oh, brother, you just said something on first tape. Like
You right, Caleb. That nigga, he be all over the. He be
Yeah,
playing both
Jay
sides of the
everywhere.
fence.
yeah,
I
Jay
like
Will.
Ryan. I like Ryan Clark though.
Yeah, love Ryan
Fuck
Clark.
Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark is good. Ryan
my-
Clark is
that's my
he's great.
guy.
He's consistent all through.
Yeah, you know where
But
he's staying.
You catch Jay Will on KGZ, he may say something complete different on first take.
But I think this is good for Shannon though, because
I do not fuck with Keyshawn Johnson though.
Oh hell no! No,
I do not fuck with Keyshawn Johnson.
I think it's good for Shannon though.
I don't like Randy Moss either.
He said no.
A lot of bullets get flying.
It's not like nobody, huh? Just
all of them.
Whoever Shannon Sharp talked to, whether it's him or whether it's his people that said, "Hey, roll with this uncle" kind of stuff. I think it's genius because he kind of still appeals to like different generations.
Yeah.
You can appeal to the young folks if you right, so you can do that, and then he still talks to old heads. He has Steve Harvey on his podcast, right? So like he still appeals to that too.
I think he should go take what's his name? Pat McAfee spot at FanDuel. I think it's a perfect spot to move Club
but they
Chasing.
gonna give Pat. No, Pat ain't going nowhere, man.
No, Pat is gone.
Yeah,
Pat's on the ESPN deal.
Yeah, he's still doing his. He's still doing his stuff, right? Though
I know, but his contract with FanDuel ends, so it's gonna be all the spot there. Yeah. So
I don't know if I think Shannon Sharp is dope. He's talented. He's a Hall of Famer. So I mean, he's got the work ethic in him to make whatever he needs to do. But like it's something about getting off those platforms, and if I'm sure Gene is right about it. They just had to kind of let him go. But First Take or Undisputed is on in every fitness center in America. Every sports team is just kind of on in the background. That's a huge platform that you're not on no more. And Club Sha-Sha is cool and all, and the other stuff is cool, but you kind of got to go find those things. Whereas Undisputed and ESPN are First Take, they're just there. So I think that's a huge loss for him. Hope it all works out, but that's a huge platform. I don't think you just replace him tomorrow.
Yeah, and I don't think Undisputed is going to be the same without him, honestly. Like, because he's part of the reason why I used to watch Undisputed.
That's 75% of the entertainment right there.
Yeah, I would wake up in the morning. That was the first thing I used to turn on because.
But it's still going to be on in Lifetime, though. That's what I'm saying. It's still going to be on in Lifetime, whether it's Shannon Sharp or somebody else in there. It's still going to be on.
It might still be on, but I just won't be watching anymore.
The ratings are the ratings.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Who'd you say?
Like you saying that now to football fall hit, and you like, you know what? What's gonna have to do?
Nah,
I'm gonna listen to Skip. I like Skip.
I can't stand Skip.
Like
Skip.
I don't hate him. I don't hate him.
Skip. Every single argument that Skip has somehow always goes back to LeBron and Jordan.
LeBron and Tom Brady and
Brady, always Brady.
Yeah, but here's my
It
thing
never
about
fails.
Skip. He can make any argument. He'll go to about 3 facts. So his argument is based in facts. He's just going to argue those 3 facts,
right,
for 3 hours. And I think
know what you know.
Know what you know. That's why until somebody prove me wrong about James Harden, I'm going to stick to my Skip argument on James Harden. That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
There you go.
Man, LeBron James.
Oh yeah, Brendan, you have to watch the rest of the replay from the start. Yeah, we had a Allen Iverson, James Harden comparison. So
yeah,
it'll work for that. All right, man. We're gonna get to wrapping it up here. So anybody got anything they want to talk about? Topics that we missed in the month of June? Things that are going on. Any NFL trades that you're looking for? Is D Hop going to get picked up and where he should go? So any kind of open topics, man. I want to open up the floor before I jump to the last thing.
Piano on his back.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if the Cowboys signed him.
Yeah, not happening. I wouldn't mind that either.
Never know.
Hey, I don't know if y'all big football guys, but how y'all feel about the market for the running backs? These teams don't want to pay the running backs. With us going through it with Josh Jacobs, man. What's y'all's thoughts on that?
Yeah, Dalvin Cook out there. Don't nobody want that fella. I'm saying like out there, Zeke is. They talking about it coming back to the Cowboys, and I'm like, no.
I heard that too.
At what point do these college dudes start like moving away from that position, knowing that
has to be next? That has to be next.
They already do though.
Yeah,
they already do. My thing is this, man. There's not a lot of people that play in the NFL. So if I'm gonna be running back, I'm gonna get that NFL check, and then I'm gonna get the franchise tag for whatever those 4 years or whatever. I'm trying to be first round and be good with that. That's still more than the average NFL career. Right. I do. It's kind of weird because What I don't like about the NFL right now is that the quarterbacks are just automatically the highest paid person on the team.
Man,
And we know Pat Mahomes and Daniel Jones, they don't equal out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Saquon Barkley is probably a little more valuable to his team, versus if Saquon Barkley were on the Kansas City Chiefs, then you can say like, nah, Pat Mahomes is that dude. But I guess if you're going to pay a position that's going to be around for multiple years, I mean, the facts is the facts. Now, it sounds terrible, but like you don't see a lot of 10-year running backs. I think Derrick Henry is an anomaly. And then, shoot, if Christian McCaffrey doesn't get traded at the right time, we might not be hearing about Christian McCaffrey much either. I mean, he just got traded to
Adrian Peterson might be playing like LeBron. That boy playing the CFL.
Who?
Adrian Peterson playing the Canadian Football League now.
Like, outside of Derrick Henry, I don't know. Like Zeke was the best running back in the league. What, 3 years ago?
5.
And now I'm
a fan, man. I'm a fan.
No, like if your running back can't catch, he is not getting drafted.
And that was what I was going to say. They have to have those multiple skills. You
gotta
have
be multiple skills.
Almost every down back where you're not getting rotated on third down for
What I do think is interesting though is to me what happens in the game is if you, to your guys' point about the versatility, like the NFL is all matchups, right? And it's all personnel grouping. So if a Christian McCaffrey can line up at wide receiver, he can line up at running back. Debo can do the same, right? And so it changes the way you defend them because they can line up in different areas. If a running back is just a running back, and I'm gonna put 21 personnel, a fullback and a running back, or whatever the case is, that doesn't give a lot of things for the defense to think about. So the more, to your boy's point, the more the running backs can do more things. I can line you up in the slot. I can hand you the ball. Maybe I can put you outside of numbers. Maybe we can put you here and you can block. Like the more they can just develop their whole wide range of game, and it's not just 35 carries a game, I think the better the position be. Because to your point, Christian McCaffrey is getting paid, right?
Yeah.
He can line up at wide receiver. They always talking about Bijan Robinson right now is playing slot. Same with Gibbs that came out of Alabama that's playing with the Lions. They say he's going to be a slot guy too. So I think the more that they can do, the better they will be.
And a lot of things like devalued them over the years, right? Like, I mean, shit, running back's going to be the new fullback, right? Like, how many fucking fullbacks do people keep on the roster in football, right? Like, the Raiders.
I think running backs are going to be more like tight ends. I think there's going to be a wave to it. That's what I'm saying. I think we're in this spot right now where we're like between generations and between philosophies. What I think happens is the tight end is no longer just tight end, line up on the end, block the end. No, you see tight ends outside the numbers. You see tight ends in the backfield. You see Travis Kelce take 3 snaps a game at quarterback. So what I'm saying is I think the running back position will continue to evolve, and it'll be used more like a tight end. So then you'll see running backs longer. It's just that we're in this between of like generations of backs where they're not quite Zeke Elliott, and they'll move on to like the Aaron Joneses, the Christian McCaffrey. I just think we're in a different whatever that, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but whatever that transition is with errors, it's not going to be Emmitt Smith anymore, right?
No, that transition they're going to be obsolete, man. Like a couple of things. When Denver had 2 different fucking people plug and play become 2,000-yard rushers, like that was just kind of like, yo, like it's a fucking wrap. And
that's
then
what I'm saying. You don't get 1,000-yard rushers.
Hold on. The Packers, they said, fuck it, we just gonna have a wide receiver become our running back for fucking
but that's my point. So like even he's still around. Like that dude right now might be on the roster. Montgomery is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So what I'm saying is that the evolution of the game is happening like in real time. And I think the running back is gonna be more like the tight end where they'll be a little bit more versatile. There was a time where you were gonna run the ball 40 times a game. Talk to Eddie George, talk to Jamal Lewis, like talk to them dudes that were running the ball that many times a game. They just don't do that anymore. Now it's more like, hey, I'm gonna run some screens. That's gonna be my run play. We'll do a little bubble screen here. We'll run the ball here. We'll do RPOs where I don't know if it's a run play.
Yeah,
linebacker sucker. We'll throw the ball, right? So like, that's going to be the evolution of the game is changing. So I think the running backs will always be there because you're always going to need somebody to get you a 2nd and 7, a 3rd and 2. Like you're always going to have to play the sticks that way. And I just think the type of running back is going to change, and we're just in that weird timing where position is changing.
It almost understand like the 1 and 2 in basketball, like that's starting to blend Like
correct.
You might have like
how many receivers do you see that actually look like Calvin Johnson anymore that are just wide receivers? Like those dudes are tight ends because hey, we can line you up in the backfield. We can do this with you. We can play two tight ends at one. Kyle Pitts is a tight end. Kyle Pitts in another generation is Calvin Johnson. He's lined up outside the numbers. He's an X receiver. The game just kind of changes, and I think that's where.
Well, Kyle Pitts probably needs to because he can't block water.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to. All we need you to do is, hey, I'm gonna need you to be the linebacker. Hey, do you want to guard Pitts with a safety or a linebacker? If so, you're in trouble, right? Oh, you want to put a corner on him? Well, we're gonna run the ball. That's why we got B.J. Robinson now. We'll just run the Bijan Robinson. That's what we'll just run the ball. You want to put a corner in the box.
But who
want to see me in Madden? Because I can already tell the way y'all talking. I'm tag in there. I'm killing everybody in Madden.
I'm gonna miss the halfback dive and the counter tray.
Who wanted it Madden? I see it right now.
I'll play you Madden.
When Madden 24 drop, because it's going to be cross-platform, I'm on your head.
See me in Madden, man. I
But
can tell
yeah,
right now.
what, Xbox or PS?
Oh, Xbox.
It's gonna be crossplay. 24.
NFL, Microsoft. Why would I play PS? That don't even work the same.
When 2024 comes out and cross-plat comes, I'm gonna
Come see me.
every month. Every month we in this, I'm talking mad shit. Every month.
Come see me. I can already tell right now the personnel package is lacking for y'all. Right now, I can tell. I can already tell.
I'll see y'all when college football come back out.
Yeah.
hey, talk about that real quick. Didn't they? I don't know if they fixed that. When the players or something, they were talking about boycotting or $500 or something like that.
It's not yeah. So how I call it is these NIL companies right now. They basically like ambulance chasers, and they messing up everything. Because they pretty much that's what they are. Because they not really they don't care about what the player is really getting. They just want they cut out of what the player is getting. EA offered every player $500. Might not seem a lot, but if you look at it from a marketing standpoint of being in a video game, it's probably worth $50,000 for being in a video game.
Right.
But you got all these NIL companies all want to get in the piece of it, like,
all in the video.
Our players should get all this extra money. They should be getting $20,000 per person. I was like, it's not gonna work like that. Because if I was EA, I'd be like, we don't need y'all. I can just put some AI players and people gonna play the game because it's college
Running
football.
back 26.
Right. We don't need you. Like
EA's good at that. So there's FIFA, right? So there's an Italian team, Juventus. Cristiano Ronaldo played on that team forever. And Juventus had some type of disagreement with EA, and EA was like, all right, cool, bet. Cut their ass right out. Here's Piedmont, which is nothing. That was the team name. And they had independent deals with the players, too, so they cut that shit out.
That's fucking hilarious. I remember you bringing that up, too.
Man.
That free advertising. All right, so if there's no other topics, man, I'm gonna jump in. June is Men's Mental Health, man. So I definitely want to take time to make sure that we all doing what we need to do to kind of make sure that we good to ourselves and good in an environment. So definitely want to like tap in, and if anybody wants to talk about some way that they're overcoming, doing some healthcare checks, so I just definitely want to do that. And it's funny, I recently saw it on what's our podcast, MH? Oh, The Pivot. And they kind of do that. So just want to take some time and just make sure you guys are doing those things. And I'll start out, man, like as one that definitely battles with depression and just some mental health things. You got to take that time. And one of the things that and why am I forgetting his name? What's the one that's always laughing on the pod?
Channing,
yeah. So like he said something that kind of got spread about like how someone's always laughing and putting on a good demeanor, definitely check on them. And I think that's me, man. I definitely always attempt to be a positive person, put a smile on, but like it's a lot of more rough days than good. And you have to put on, because us as men, first of all, and then second of all, black men, we have another added pressure on us, man. So just want to make sure that you all tap in with whatever you need, whether it's therapy, whether it's just even getting out the house, man, going doing something. So even and Miles probably knows he doesn't mind if I share this, and we talk about it anyway. This for us, we call this microphone therapy, man. When we can get on this thing and laugh with y'all, and like we appreciate y'all taking time out of y'all day, you know, not only supporting the show when we're doing those interviews, but supporting us by coming on here. And I dropped the ball on the invite, so thank you guys for last minute jumping on for today. But no, doing that it means a lot. So like I'm tapping in, just telling you guys in a vulnerable moment, I appreciate y'all. And know, like, hey, you know, just kind of push forward and make sure you do the things and get the help you need, man. It's no longer to be embarrassed about this shit, man, because we're falling off left and right, more so than others.
Listen, and don't be afraid to have a therapist.
Absolutely.
I have an 11 o'clock call every Tuesday.
It is.
I build that time for myself.
Yeah.
On everything. Anything I'm going through, I can discuss it right there.
That's fire. That's fire.
And, you know, we need to do that, right? And then it's not even like, you know, you have to look at just being able to talk to someone, because that's a lot of where it starts, right? Because we can't talk to somebody. So, you know, make sure you do those things, man. Tap into me. Like, I'm always here if anybody ever wants to talk. And it don't even always have to be about the problem. I think that's where sometimes we get it mixed up, is we feel like we have to talk about what's fucked up. No, sometimes you just need to talk to somebody about something, man. And like I said, getting on here is definitely microphone therapy for me. So, Gene, I appreciate you for sharing, but I just wanted to share that for y'all. Make sure you always tap in with two people, the one that's always smiling, and when your people get quiet. And if you don't see somebody for a minute, definitely tap in, man.
Facts.
Yeah, one thing that I heard this weekend that I thought was really interesting. It was I was working a football camp, and a pastor said we don't deal with loss well. Like, we don't grieve like we don't grieve. We move on. It's always like, hey, we're gonna pray for you, and we all on to the next parts, and we never give ourselves some time to grieve. And I thought that was interesting because he mentioned, like, hey, I'm still grieving. He made a joke, but it was real. I'm still grieving a high school football game loss that he had when he was in 1998, and they lost their state championship. He never had the time to like really process what that loss meant to him. So I guess I say that it never struck me like, you know, I think we need to give ourselves some time and not be so hard on ourselves. Just give ourselves some time to grieve and go through that process of loss. And then another thing that he said kind of on the other side was that he kind of leveled the playing field in my mind when he said, God, thank you for this day because nobody's seen this day before. And I really thought about that, and I was like, man, that's super profound because we're in the world of comparison, and we see whatever somebody else is doing and what this is going on, and we live on a outlook schedule, but nobody's ever seen the day. And I mean, that in itself is a blessing that we get to see a new day that we know nothing about. And I know for some people that could be a curse too. Like, they don't want to see a new day, right? So I very much understand that. But I thought, like, man, that's a sense of gratitude that I need to start my day with. Every day is like, God, thank you for seeing this day. Ain't nobody seen this day. Let's see if I can hit it at full speed, man. So I appreciate that. And then it's one thing that they put men's mental health month in June. There ain't no ball. They put a lot of different stuff. Like, I think that's all interesting, man. It's just like that's how they do us sometimes, bro. Let's throw it in June. They ain't watching nothing anyway.
Yeah, baseball.
Bro, you spot on though. I think the big thing is man, don't discount your boys or your homegirls, your lady, whoever it is. Don't discount the definition of loss to them. Like, a lot of times we think loss just means like somebody died. Like, nah, like losing the job is the same thing as death to somebody.
Yeah. Good point.
It just impacts them. Like, loss. So make sure like you do that. And then just to piggyback on everybody else, like getting a therapist, man, like it's necessary. I think you're a dumbass if you don't. And we sit here, we're on a sports show. I would say the majority of the guys and people we talk about, men and women, have access to therapists. But we don't hear that side of the story. You can have, when you need an opportunity for a job, you get a personal coach. When you need financial help, you're going to get a financial advisor. When you need to get in shape, fitness, all of these players, non-players, you're getting physical therapist. So the next thing to take care of is your brain, is your mind, your heart. So yeah, that's what I got on it.
Yeah, we need more of that.
Yep.
Appreciate it, fellas. Well, I won't harp on it, man. I thank you guys for sharing, but definitely, like I said, we got to talk about it. We got to support each other, and we have to make it more common that it's okay, right? And I think back to B's statement with, you do all these things to prepare these other aspects of your life. That mental is the main is the biggest part of that. So make sure you tap in with that. And then always shout out to Andrew. And as a Cowboys fan, I saw some of you Cowboys fan had to see his little quote on here. So
You did that on purpose, man.
I did not do that, man. That was Andrew, man.
You did that on purpose, man. Hey,
But it
what
is
time
crazy,
you with EJ, man? I got a pair of skates, man, the same color as that jacket, man. I'm gonna send it to you.
Let's go. Let's get it.
We can ride down the street with them skates and that jacket on, big.
Hey, we go over to Floyd's roller rink, man, and slap a style on them. Bring them back to why do I forget our roller skating rink in the field?
I don't know how you forget that because they tore it down. Shit, that's why you forget.
Oh, that's what. Yeah. That's one reason right there.
Yeah, tore that down.
All right, well, hey, like we do it the end of the week, the last part of the month, man. So definitely tap in. We always appreciate you guys jumping on, sharing comments, laughing, building together, building the community. Make sure you share the show, man. We need to get more perspectives and then a lot of perspectives on here, and then just have a great rest of the week. Football season is coming soon, so that's going to definitely spark a lot of debate, and maybe some tears as well. But
Not before the Women's World Cup starts next month.
Good.
And shout out to that team that they brought up too, man. What's her name? Rodman's daughters got
the 18-year-old.
Yeah, 18-year-old.
She's supposed to be cold, bro.
Supposed to be changing the game, man. So definitely good luck to her, man, to changing her kind of story. Cause it's definitely rough having a worm as a father. All right. Anything else before we get out of here? MH, you want to wrap us up, man? Any final thoughts?
No, EJ, I think you touched on it, man. I really appreciate you guys, taking some time and taking time away from your families to spend time with us. EJ says is the best, man. This is therapy for me. I talk a lot during the day just because of work, but I don't, I got to kind of talk in code, and this is one where I don't have to talk in code. So I really appreciate y'all, and yeah, do some research on James Harden.
All right, folks. Well, hey, those have been here before, man. We are going to get out of here, but we do have the after show. So it gets a little fun in the after show, so feel free to stay on after that. But just know how we always get out of here, man. Please stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.